that initial pressure at 94 feet and be able to get it past, three quarters. You can shoot layups, and you can have a lot of fun when you're shooting layups.
It was interesting. Both coaches yesterday at practices were talking about who's going to throw the first punch and who's going to throw the last punch, figuratively speaking, of course.
Well, Krista Gerlich said, I think we're just going to be punching all night long, both of us.
Yeah, really. And they got to be consistent on that if they want to win. Going inside, shot won't go down for Madison Francis, the talented freshman, getting her first start. Chris from the outside buries the three.
Well, Mississippi State, they don't shoot a ton of threes, average about 15 a game, but they're shooting exceptionally well, 42% on the season so far.
Here is from the outside, Jalen Bristow off the back of the iron. Prater goes for the rebound, whistle and a foul. That's going to be called against Emma Nunez. That'll be her first personal foul. Again, Mississippi State. Take a look at the last play, and again, wide open three. That's only Chris' sixth three-pointer, but you got to get out on her. 70% of her shots are threes, and going back to last year, it was also 70% of her shots from beyond the arc.
Well, Texas Tech can't give up that many second chance opportunities. That's a great find down low, working multiple sides of the floor for the Bulldogs, but Texas Tech offensive rebounds, they want to limit Mississippi State to less than 10 in this game.
Well, favor Wade Dozie on one end, and Texas Tech comes back and answers. They get their first points of the game, and it's a 5-2 contest. Coach Purcell says he's talked to his team a lot. Opportunity is the key word. They have a motto from the outside. No, it's drive, determination, resilience, impact, virtuousness, and excellence. Here's Maupin coming off a solid game. Got it. Talking to Bailey yesterday and again today, she grasped this opportunity of this game tonight.
She is so locked in. Not that she hasn't been throughout her career, but it's just a whole other level this year in her senior year. Her determination, and that play right there where she was able to attack the paint, but Mississippi State pounding it into the paint right now, really trying to establish themselves with size on the interior.
Let's talk about Texas Tech's keys to the game, Rachel.
Well, I mean, we're going to talk about it all night long. Rebound, rebound, rebound. I think that is the absolute key to this game. Like I said, they want to limit Mississippi State to less than 10 offensive rebounds, and they've got to play with their foot on the gas for 40 minutes. No lulls in the third quarter, no lulls at certain points of the game. They have got to play aggressive for 40 minutes.
Wade Dozie's strong move to the hole, and she is going to be fouled out of the play. Wade Dozie out of Nigeria originally, then went to high school in Japan. There's some connection there somehow. But she's a solid player.
Well, I just love her ability from the elbow. You're going to see the Bulldogs run a lot of action from that high post. Their ability to face up, one dribble, attack the paint. This is going to be a very physical game. I expect a lot of free throws in this one.
On the last game, Wade Dozie had 18 points, 15 rebounds, comes in averaging a double-double, 13 points and 12.8 boards. Gets the second. First substitution of the game. Carissa Richardson will check into the lineup, the senior out of Douglas, Georgia. Started out at Auburn, went to Ole Miss for 2 years. She's another one of those with a huge wingspan, 6'5" and 5 inches. They're not as tall as they were last year, but they're longer. Here's Mississippi State's keys.
Well, they've got to value the basketball. Everybody knows how much Texas Tech wants to try and turn you over. They have to limit those turnovers. And then staying out of foul trouble.
Yeah.
They can't allow their veteran players to get in foul trouble and get deep into that bench. That's what Krista Gerlich would love to do, is get into 8, 9, 10 on their rotation.
You talked about rebounding the basketball. Yesterday was interesting. I walked into practice, and they had the cap on the bucket. So no shot obviously could go in. And I said, well, that was kind of subtle.
I could have told you right now that we call it the dome. I don't know where I'm from, but had the dome in these rims literally all week in practice preparing for this one tonight.
That is a strong move inside for Jalen Bristow. Comes in averaging over 16 points a ball game. Career high numbers across the board for the junior out of Holiday, Texas. Whistle and a foul. Fans don't like it. Our officiating crew tonight, Tiffany Bird Nelson, Maggie Tiemann, and Iffy Seals. I didn't see a contact there.
Now, the crowd didn't like that one either, but you can tell early on, we're only, 3 minutes into this game, how much of an emphasis attacking the paint is, especially when it comes to Mississippi State. They feel like at times they have the advantage with their ability to get downhill, not even just in transition when they can push pace, but in the half court with some certain matchups, they feel like they can get downhill, attack the paint, get themselves to the free throw line.
The last 3 games, this Mississippi State team has shot a combined 52%. 3 of their 4 games, they have shot over 50. Here's Crisp at the line, averaging just about 6 points a ball game. And she already has 5. The senior out of Goodyear, Arizona. Was at North Carolina last season. And Sydney Love's checked into the lineup. Transfer from UTSA, has been a big impact. Missed the first game of the year. Inside, Collins, no. That's a good matchup, Collins against the freshman Francis.
Well, I actually thought that Snetta Collins, coming off that Iverson action, was able to sweep it and just rip right away. But when you have that type of length and athleticism, I mean, she is a matchup problem, and she can score it at 3 levels. She can shoot the 3 exceptionally well. That's what she was known for at her time at Ole Miss in particular. But, you know, showing her versatility by attacking the paint as well.
Madison Francis, the freshman from Lancaster, New York, tied for number 4 in the NCAA in blocks, and she's tied with Jalen Bristow and Krista Gerlich. Spent a lot of time prepping for this game. Mississippi State last played Thursday. They've gone over the scout about 3 or 4 games, and last night's shoot-around was one of the most fun shoot-arounds I've seen. Players just had a good time.
I think Sam Purcell just likes to have a good time.
I think he does too.
You can get a sense of just the energy and the smiles and the joy around that program. It is infectious to be around.
Richardson gives it up in the corner. The 3, no. Prater dishes inside, and Francis, the freshman, is there.
All right, so that's 2 offensive rebounds that Tech has given up. That's 5 second chance points here early on.
For the last 3 games, Francis has averaged almost 13 points a game. Jada Malone had the position, is not going to be able to finish.
And that's so tough. You work for such great positioning like that. You've got to be able to capitalize on a high percentage shot like that.
Now Sanaya King has checked into the lineup for Mississippi State, the sophomore from Washington, D.C. Outside, Francis can't get it. King is a true point guard. First couple of games this season, they didn't have a true point guard. That's going to be an offensive foul. They're going to call it on Collins. King is going to be a big difference because that allows Destiny McFall to go back to shooting guard as we look at the foul again. Now, they're not going to let it get physical tonight, I got this feeling.
Well, and that's that discipline that I was talking about in the open. Is You've got to be able to play the game without fouling. That's discipline and understanding here. Okay, we're about close to 4.5 minutes into this one. How is the game being officiated, right? Some of these veteran players, especially for Texas Tech, they've got to be able to adapt and adjust and stay on the court.
King buries the 3. That is her first in a uniform for Mississippi State. Last year, she had the 2nd most assists of any freshman in the NCAA when she was at Howard. Moppet, they jump out on her, takes it inside in traffic. No. Texas Tech just 4 of 8 shooting. Mississippi State 5 of 10. The turnover. Nice move, Love. Gives it up. Collins plants it, launches, no. Into the hands of King. Only her 2nd game played. First game of the year was the last game they played. Lampley can't get it. They boxed out, but nobody decided to pick up Richardson. And all of a sudden, it's a 5-point advantage for Mississippi State.
Yeah, this is an important possession right now for Texas Tech, being able to be strong. There's going to be a foul here and a little bit of an opportunity for both teams to talk about it. That's on Prater.
We've got a timeout. We're in the first quarter. SEC Big 12 matchup. Mississippi State leads by 7. They are on a 7-0 run. Texas Tech has a scoring drought of over 2 minutes, and as mentioned, Mississippi State on a 7-0 run. They lead by 7. We've talked a lot about the length. Look at the wingspans of these 5 players.
Unbelievable. And then you look at the average wingspan of the 2024 New York Liberty at 6'5". It's funny, I walked into shoot-around today and I look at Sam and I was like, man, I was just really excited to come out, like, just look at the size of your team, which, you know, historically there's always a ton of size at Mississippi State. He's like, oh, we really feel like, you know, this is one of our smaller teams.
Yeah, really.
You don't get that sense, especially when you have that type of elite length. And right now, I think that's been the story of the game so far. Not just from being disruptive in the half court, disrupting Texas Tech and what they want to do in the half court, but from the rebounding. That's the biggest story. Offensive rebounds and how Texas Tech has given up 7 second chance points on those 3 offensive rebounds. That is a rate they've got to find a way to slow down.
You know, when you watch Mississippi State on tape and then seeing them in person, they believe every rebound is theirs. Especially a player like Jayla Lampley, the freshman out of Fishers, Indiana. You watch her and she just jumps out at you on the screen. Solid rebounding team. Deep in the corner, King lets it fly. No, Malone fights for it, lost it. That's the hustle play that could make difference in this game. You got to get, if you're Texas Tech, you're both teams, you got to get those 50-50 balls.
It's literally going to war every single time the shot gets taken, both teams. And that's a good contest there by him and Nunez, but you know, just being able to secure that. Malone is going to be such a key part in that. Got to make sure she stays out of foul trouble in particular. As Collins, I like how aggressive she's being from the start. It is a luxury for Krista Gerlichs to have her leading scorer coming off the bench.
Right.
And Snetta Collins. And like, Snetta Collins has SEC experience under her belt, understanding the length of the league, the physicality of the league, the rebounding. And so it's really important, especially in this matchup tonight, to get her going early and often.
Well, one of the things they thought they could do is get Wade Dozie in some type of foul trouble. She goes out now, takes a little bit of a breather. And they challenge Collins to take it strong. Well, you mentioned it. Don't shy away from contact. You got to move. And that was stressed in practice by Tech yesterday and again today. Here is Collins. Didn't play last season after playing at Ole Miss, and Mississippi State actually wanted to recruit her, but because she wasn't in the portal, there's an SEC rule that you can't take a player like that. And that allowed Krista Gerlich to get her here at Texas Tech. Dribble penetration on the drive. That's just a breakdown.
Well, it's just too easy to be able to throw that type of diagonal pass. Tech has got to find a way to ramp up the pressure when they're able to get set in their press. That is their bread and butter.
That's going to be a travel, and Texas Tech turns it over for the 3rd time. That's something they've done a pretty good job of this year, taking care of the basketball. Only 15 turnovers, or only 16 turnovers a game, I should say.
Well, Mississippi State averaging, their opponents are averaging about 19. And when you have this type of length, and let's be honest, neither of these teams have gone against this type of competition.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, Mississippi State's winning that battle. It's got Texas Tech a little bit rattled here early and often. It'll be interesting how they settle into this one offensively. I just feel like they're kind of second-guessing themselves in the half court.
Madison Francis again, the freshman. Here's Collins. Texas Tech, they get the 2 they needed that. No field goals the last 350 prior to that. But the ball's going to get a little sticky for Texas Tech. They have only 1 assist on their 4 baskets made.
Well, they're not off to a horrible start offensively outside of some of those early turnovers. It's the defensive end of the floor, okay? Krista Gerlich's squads are always going to hang their hat on the defensive end. And right now, credit to Mississippi State. They've handled what, very honestly, in my opinion, what little pressure they've seen so far, whether it's the full court, whether it's the half court. Tech has not been able to generate easy offense from how disruptive they usually can be defensively.
Today, Fritz will check back into the lineup. And Sanaya King will go to the free throw line. Last year at Howard, averaged 11.5, 4.5 assists a game. Great passer in transition. When you watch her on tape, she's got that field of vision all great point guards have.
And Sam Purcell is like, and he uses this a lot, right? Of course he does. She's a dog.
Yeah, she's a dog.
She's got a massive opportunity this year, and he just really feels like the way she attacked the weight room this offseason, she was first in all of their conditioning tests. He's been so impressed with her so far through the offseason and into now.
Again, one and done. No offensive rebounds for Texas Tech in this game. And you talked at the top of the show, that is a big key. Here's Francis being guarded by Collins. Tries to force her left. Takes it to the right side and got it. And Francis has a half a dozen, and Krista Gerlich's going to call it timeout. Mississippi State has hit 3 of their last 3 shots. Biggest lead of the game is at 11. And this is a Mississippi State team that hasn't trailed a lot this year. Only 9 minutes and 44 seconds in their previous 4 games.
Well, and it's just a great job of handling the pressure. And normally, right now, they've got Texas Tech's defense in a little bit of shambles. I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, that's too soft. You've got to be able to have that backside rotation that's sliding over, picking up that ball a lot earlier. I mean, Mississippi State's come out hot, shooting 56%. Texas Tech, not bad. They're shooting 45%, but just the extra shot attempts at the rim that the Bulldogs are getting. I think the most glaring thing for Tech, which speaks to just how disruptive they've been in the half court offensively, 0 for 4 from the three-point line. You know, I mean, Tech shot the ball extremely well from the perimeter this year, just right under 41%. So that 3-ball is a big momentum, big aspect of momentum that the Lady Raiders really, rely on. They have not gotten clean looks that they're used to getting.
12 points in the paint for Mississippi State. Tech opponents, 2 of the last 3 have had 30 points in the paint. Collins, 1 shot again, won't go down. And that's going to be an offensive foul. Sarah Sonogo will be called. And that's going to get Jada Malone quickly up off the bench. And we're going to go down the other end and shoot free throws. With 2:08 left to play in the first.
Shove in the back.
That is 6 personal fouls already called against Texas Tech. That's doubling up what Mississippi State has. Is Carissa Richardson at the line. You mentioned she played in the SEC the previous 3 seasons. Scoring a lot more than she did at Ole Miss last season. And gets the second one to go down. Richardson last year was a 77% free throw shooter. Came in tonight 6 of 8. Move the basketball. That was the mantra yesterday in practice. Collins trying to do it all inside. Can't do it. Richardson the rebound. Crisp. They get her the ball. Inside of 10 on the shot clock. Working on Fritz. Has it knocked away. And it's going to belong to Mississippi State with 9 to shoot.
Right now, if you're Texas Tech, it's about coming up with a couple of solid possessions and stops on the defensive end of the floor.
Francis just showing her speed. Yeah, they needed that.
There's one. And Bristow's ability to block shots and alter shots herself. And then that's what Tech can do. Not able still, the 3-ball will not go. But when you're able to get stops and push in transition and get those clean looks, it has been really difficult so far for Texas Tech to get a clean look at the rim.
The problem Tech's having, they're just 1 for their last 8. They're 1 and done. No offensive rebounds. The 3. Taken away by Love as we go inside of 55 seconds here in the first. This will be the first time this season that Texas Tech trailed at the end of the first quarter. Bristow inside. Nice dish from Jalen Bristow to Jada Malone.
Well, and that all started because Jada Malone set a highly effective screen that was utilized. And the timing action of her diving and Bristow popping up to the top was extremely executed very well.
Chris being guarded by Frist, who's done a nice job defensively, and she'll be whistled for the foul. So Danae will pick up her first personal as Bailey Maupin will come back into the lineup for Tech.
So you look at that screen, you watch the dive, you watch the plunger action of Bristow coming up to the top, and great job by Malone sealing. The defense collapses, backside rotation is late, leads to a high percentage shot.
And Jayla Lampley will come into the lineup, one of those players that has a huge motor for Mississippi State. High basketball IQ for Lampley. They credit that she was coached by her mom in high school. Here's Chris.
Sister, a 5-star recruit, slated to go to LSU next year.
Kim Mulkey's happy with that.
Very talented family.
I'd say so. Chris, season high last season was 19 points. Mississippi State's lead is 8. Shot clock turned off here in the first 10. Glad you're with us. We're in Lubbock, Texas. After a major dust storm blew through about 3 o'clock. The Mississippi State people were cracking up laughing at that one. On the drive, Sydney Love, no. Final 4 seconds, they got an opportunity to get a shot. Chris lets it fly for 3, got it!
Yeah, you just had the feeling that one was going down.
That's just pulled the knife out of the heart. So let's see how Texas Tech can start this first couple minutes of quarter number 2 inside Bristow. That's how they started the opening 10 minutes.
Well, right now the offense has come from Snutta Collins and Bristow. That's a great start, but it has to start on the defensive end of the floor. Texas Tech has not done what they typically are able to do defensively. I can guarantee you Krista Gerlich challenged them in that timeout. They've got to ramp it up defensively.
That's going to be a travel. That is only the second turnover for the Bulldogs. They average about 15 a ball game. You know what I like about this matchup, when you look at obviously head coach Sam Purcell, and he made a great point. He goes, you know, both programs value women's basketball. I mean, you think about the history of both programs, the national title for Texas Tech and Mississippi State, you know, what Sam's done, what the legend Vic Schaefer did. I mean, it's kind of fun seeing these two teams meet. It's only the second meeting in their history.
When you look around right here and the greatness we're surrounded by just in this arena, on this campus with Texas Tech, you're exactly right. And this is, I told Coach Gerlich, this is what it's all about right now. And that is a huge sigh of relief for Bailey Maupin to see that ball go down. That's just the first 3 ball of the game. I'll tell you, it's always interesting. A lot of coaches, yeah, we want our defense to fuel our offense, of course, and I would say that is normally the case for Texas Tech, but it's funny how you play a little bit harder and have a little extra pep on your step when you start to see the ball go through the net. Absolutely,
and for Bailey, the last 2 games coming into tonight, 7 of 13 from 3. Last 2 games she's been hot, averaging almost 23 a game. Collins rips it away.
That is a grown woman play right there. Out of Snutta Collins, just doing a great job of sliding her feet, timing on the basketball with the left hand and grabbing it, ripping it out of her hands. Okay. Potentially, Texas Tech settling in here a little bit here. I think these really encouraging couple of last possessions as they try to chip back into this game, getting a little more comfortable with the way this is being played.
6th block for Collins on the season. Bristow inside, strong move, can't get it. Rebound taken away by Waydoozy.
And there's been about six points at the rim that have not gone down for Texas Tech.
Right.
Like point-blank, high-percentage shots in the paint that they just have not been able to capitalize on. But that's a great job of getting back in transition and being disruptive, coming up with a stop now.
Emma Nunez running the point. Transferred from Campbell. Came into the game 10 assists to 400 for her career. Whistling a foul's going to be called. You know, and we were asking the players yesterday at practice and again today as we take a look at Collins on the inside. A little scoop. Can't get it, but we were talking about, okay, you're going to get punched in the mouth, figuratively speaking, of course, again. How are you going to respond? And the players were saying, listen, we got a lot of seniors on this team. We came into this season knowing it's do or die. We got to do something this year. We've seen it all. And they felt that if they did get kind of smacked around, they'd be able to handle the adversity. We will see.
Well, and that's what we're gonna find out real quick. There's an offensive rebound and a nice clean look there for Bailey Maupin. Doesn't get much better than that in terms of a look, but I mean, back to your point, kind of just an overhanging theme of this year coming out of Bailey Maupin's mouth is urgency. You know, this is our last go around. We know how old and veteran this team are, one of the oldest teams in all of college basketball. So understanding what's at stake, not just for the season, but in a smaller graph, this game tonight and how much this game means. So I personally definitely want to see how this team responds to that really tough first quarter.
How about that by Collins? Couldn't get the rebound, but she tapped it to herself. The lead is still 10. The lead was 15.
One thing to pay attention to, Gemma Nunez back in the game with 2 fouls.
Bristow, now they switch. She's picked up by McFall. Bristow should take advantage of that mismatch. The handoff, Nunez, tough shot inside, gets the bounce. Emma Nunez with her first field goal of the evening.
Oh, that was just really good patience. You know, I mean, Mississippi State doing a really good job of just pressuring out on the perimeter, and that cut by Nunez right in the paint. That little soft spot.
Look at Mississippi State on tape. Their half-court sets this season, they've really moved the ball well. Dozie out front. Chris backs it out. Shot clock at 6. Richardson. Richardson backs in. Little right-handed hook. No. Collins having a big impact again. Already her 4th rebound. Danae Fritz can't get it.
Another one at the rim. That is exactly what you want Gemma Nunez to do, is push the ball in transition. I know right now it has got to be difficult for Texas Tech watching those shots not go down, but they're winning this quarter 7-0.
And we've got a timeout with 6:26 left to play in the opening quarter. Mississippi State by 8. In quarter number 2, Mississippi State just 0 for 4 shooting. Texas Tech is 3 of 6. That's why they've closed the gap down to 8. You know, talked to Sam Purcell. That was one of the greatest conversations last night and again today. And I said, you know, here you have this wonderful meal at the hotel, and your players this morning were at Dunkin' Donuts. And he said, we don't have Dunkin' in Starkville. And he goes, you know, I also like to take him to Target because we don't have a Target in Starkville.
Listen, if there's a Target, you gotta go. I mean, come on.
That's my man there.
But that's a man with a lot of women in his life, taking his team to Target. Great. Come up with a steal out of Bristow. That is not what Sam Purcell drew up at that timeout.
No. And you know, when you get down like this, you want your stars to make those big plays to get you back into it. Bristow already in double figures with 10, comes in averaging over 16 points a ball game.
Well, this is a heavyweight matchup, an early season heavyweight matchup. I want to see how Texas Tech responds to the first punch, and they did. Now I want to see how Mississippi State is responding to a very slow start to the second quarter. Still 4 minutes into it, remains scoreless.
9-0 run to start quarter number 2 for the Lady Raiders. 4 minutes gone by in the second. Nice move inside. The roll won't go down. Maupin pulls it away quickly into the hands of Emma Nunez.
Oh, and I'm telling you right now, we're seeing both of these coaches work these referees. Krista Gerlich is stomping that heel over there. I'm surprised one of her heels hasn't popped off, and this is...
That is the 5th turnover for Texas Tech.
And it's unforced turnovers.
Exactly.
It's unforced turnovers. Those are the types of possessions you can't afford, especially as a veteran team, to be giving away, whether it's a moving screen or a travel call, just a missed opportunity.
Mississippi State, when they're on offense, they sometimes like to isolate you on defense. Shot won't go down. Great position inside, but Collins pulls it away. Francis knocks it out.
Man, I'm loving Snetta Collins right now.
The energy,
but just the toughness. Texas Tech has got to elevate their toughness from top to bottom. Snetta Collins is setting the tone in that category from the jump, not just in how aggressive she's being offensively, but how disruptive she's being and rebounding the basketball. 5
rebounds. The rest of Texas Tech has 7. Tough miss.
I'm a little surprised she took that shot. She's had a lot of success off the dribble so far here tonight, and taking that kind of 17 contested mid-range jumper, not really in rhythm. I don't know if that's the exact type of shot you want to have in that possession. But again, you love it because she has been one of the most aggressive offensively.
Still have not scored Mississippi State here in the second. Dump it down inside. Great position. Can't get it to go. Wadozie had a good look. Nunez runs the floor. Bailey tries to thread the needle. Not able to do it. Turnover number 5. You know, in that situation, I go back to the great Hubie Brown. Make the simple play. You know, I mean, you're taking a chance. I understand she may have had a step on the defense, but.
Well, Tech only 2 fast break points in this game. One of their keys was to have 20. And so you credit Mississippi State and how they've been so good at getting back in transition and not allowing. Sam Purcell in practice today was running drills where when a shot attempt went up, they were all sprinting back right away just to make sure that they were covering where they needed to in the full court.
Still looking for their first field goal of quarter number 2. That's going to be 3 seconds. We'll go the other way with it.
Okay.
5 turnovers for both teams so far this evening.
Valuing the possession. Both teams, some careless turnovers here in the second quarter. I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? Basketball is a game of possessions. You're going to get so many, and they're going to get so many. Who's going to make the most of them? It's really evenly matched so far.
Tech coming off that win over Arkansas. 3 straight games, they have scored 80 points. Collins, no. The rebound again. Pulled down by Wadozie. That's her 4th. Inside of 4 minutes to play. Mississippi State yet to score here in the second. Prater, the pull-up jumper, got it.
Oh, that's tough. That is tough. You get her going, and that could mean a little bit of trouble there.
I mean, you go over 6 minutes without scoring and you still lead by 6 because Tech is now on a drought of their own, closing in on 2.5 minutes. Collins on top, Maupin. The one quick long step, can't get it. Still just 1 offensive rebound for Texas Tech, 4 for Mississippi State. Mississippi State comes in averaging almost 14 offensive rebounds. Deep in the corner, the 3. That's going to be a foul. That'll be Wade Dozie going over the back.
That is a textbook over the back call. Great job by Snetta Collins on the block out. Sam Purcell arguing a little bit of an excessive block out with the way she bent over and was driving back. But, I mean, you can tell that this was a major point of emphasis for Texas Tech these last few days. We talked about the dome being thrown in to the basket. And, I mean, I think so far, Snetta Collins has really risen to that challenge. I mean, just a play like that, understanding, okay, you may not be able to out-jump or get your hands on it, but just fundamentally blocking out and making a play.
Fans wanted a call on Richardson, not going to get it. Tech turns it over. On the transition, no. Rebound knocked around. Francis kept it alive. Dene, good job. She's in trouble. And the foul's going to be called against Mississippi State.
How many bunnies have we seen not go down in this game tonight? I can think of 5 for Tech. I can think of about 3 to 4 for Mississippi State.
Well, Dozie's going to come back into the lineup, and Madison Francis will go out. 2:45 to play here in the opening half.
Well, 3 turnovers for the Lady Raiders in the last 3.5 minutes. That's a scoring drought in the same amount of time. This is a big possession right now. Talking about momentum and playing these next 2.5 minutes smartly, giving yourself some momentum before you head into halftime.
Oh, Jana Malone on the right block. Nice move, up and under, uses the left hand. Malone got her second field goal of the night.
That's huge. Having a presence on the interior and being able to play from the inside out.
Last 2 games, Malone 10 and 9 points. She is now just 2 points away from 500 her career, and Tech will have it with 2:08.
Well, that was a great look. I mean, that was a great pass, just not handled there by Favor. I mean, right now, both teams, 6 turnovers. It's interesting when you look at a lot of these statistical categories with both of these teams, outside of the rebounding numbers. We know Mississippi State is elite. They're out-rebounding their opponents by an average of 15, but really in so many other categories, these teams are very evenly matched, from blocks to three-point shooting percentage to turnovers.
Mississippi State just 1 of 10 shooting here in the second. Sydney Love with the banker. And the lead has been cut down to 4. It was as big as 15.
Texas Tech on a 13-2 run, and that is going to be another offensive foul, and Sam Purcell is not happy.
That's going to be on Richardson. That'll be her second personal foul. So Wade Dozie and Richardson for Mississippi State, both now playing with 2 fouls. Whew. Sam's going to go to his bench, I think, on this one.
I'm going to tell you, Bailey Maupin's going to feel that tomorrow.
Yeah. Bailey Maupin's tough. Talked about it a lot. Grew up on a cattle ranch. She's one of the toughest players I've ever been around. Likes to take charges. Krista Gerlich was telling us yesterday they call her the eraser on defense now. Wasn't like that her first couple of years. Makes up for other people's mistakes on defense.
Right, what she means by that is just whether it's backside, whether it's just making a play, whether it's blocking a shot. Yes, I said blocking a shot. Bailey Maupin can do that. She's so smart and heady on the backside of a play. She can make up for other people's mistakes, as you said. And
Malone with 1 on the shot clock. And it is a 2-point game. And now the crowd is starting to get into it. Mississippi State has scored 2 points here in the second. Inside, no. The tip, no. Collins rips it away. 60 seconds left. Tech with a chance to tie it or take the lead. 6-0 run over the last 125 for the Lady Raiders.
I really thought Bailey Maupin took that charge on that last possession. Yeah. She was perfectly placed.
They trailed by 15 at the end of 1 for the lead, no. And Mississippi State will have it. 42.9 to play in the half. Mississippi State just 1 of 12 shooting here in the second.
Huge possession right now for Sam Purcell and his squad. You've got to be able to come down, handle this pressure, not turn the ball over, and just see the ball go through the net. Any sort of momentum to stop this bleeding right now before halftime.
They haven't scored in over 3 minutes. King out front running the point. Final 30 seconds of the second. King from 15. It goes 13. Tech has it with a chance to tie. Shot clock turned off here in the second.
You see Krista Gerlich yelling at her squad, we want the last shot of this half.
San Priscilla wanted to get a little height in there. They're going to try to get in Rocio Jimenez, the 6'7" redshirt sophomore from the Dominican Republic. And she finally gets into the ball game, and Jalen Bristow's going to check back in.
Well, just to help limit Mississippi State with their foul trouble.
Yeah. You don't want your players picking up their third foul with 20 seconds left in the second. Bristow back into the lineup. 6-0 run for the Lady Raiders. A chance to tie or take the lead. Final 15 seconds of the second. Love out front. Makes the move with 7. Works off the pick. Back on top. Bristow for the lead. Love fights for it. That's the way the first half is going to come to an end.
Listen, that's a great job by Mississippi State, securing that, not allowing a second chance point. And for Texas Tech, that is the type of...
They're in their final year. They know it's do or die time.
Well, and Jalen talked to me directly about that. She said, listen, I know I'm not a senior. Obviously, I'm a junior, just now entering my upperclassman year. That's a stop there for Texas Tech. But she said, I want to do it for them. I want to be great for them, because that urgency that we talked about in that first half with this team to get back to the NCAA tournament, to make noise in the Big 12, she feels it as well, and she wants to be great for them.
That foul was on Mississippi State, and again, Texas Tech, they've never led in this game. Malone on top. Fritz for the lead. Nice rebound pulled away by Richardson.
That is good patience there by Malone on the block to not get rushed with her back to the basket and let that play. And Danae Fritz cut. That is a great clean look. But again, the 3-ball not going very much tonight for Texas Tech. That is 1 for 10 tonight.
Go inside, count it. Nice job by Wadozie. 3 double-doubles already in 2026. And one of her strength, she loves to shoot around the rim, and if foul's going to be called, that'll be on Chandler Prater. I like Wadozie's game. Just a junior out of Delta, Nigeria.
High motor, high energy. Sam Purcell said, I am so blessed to have her this year. She is just such a joy when she walks in the room. She's one of those people who just lights up a room with her presence and her energy.
Well, Prater, by the way, picked up her 3rd personal foul. And Tiffany Burton-Nelson wants to make sure the clock is correct. 8:56 game clock, 20 reset on the shot clock. Tech will inbound. This is something Tech spent a lot of time working on, because they knew they were going to put Wadozie right there in the front. One of those with the big arm span of 6'8 and a half. And Krista Gerlich worked on a number of plays where they could use that to their advantage.
I actually think that's a strength of Texas Tech, is their underneath out of bounds execution.
Bristow, no. Rebound, tip to herself. Again, it is Wadozie. She's got 7 rebounds to go along with her 7 points. 4-point advantage, Mississippi State. Wadozie working on Malone, the spin move. Nice job. Nunez with the pick. Her 14th steal. The bounce pass, no. Turnover, number 7 for Texas Tech.
That was such a heady play there by him and Nunez. That's knowing personnel and understanding that she was going to pull it back on that spin dribble, but just a missed opportunity, not capitalizing off turnovers.
Ball launches the 3, tries to bank it, and it'll be Tech's basketball. With a minute 45 gone here in quarter number 3.
I have been so impressed with Mississippi State's ability to get back and to get matched up in fast break situations.
Yes.
They have been on point all night long.
48 3-pointers for Texas Tech coming into the game, and there is a block we've been waiting for. Wadozie with the rejection.
That coming into this game was something we talked about ad nauseum with both of these teams. Mississippi State 7th in the country. They average just under 8 blocks a game. Texas Tech tied for 11th in the country. They average just under 7 tonight. We've only seen 2.
And that was Mississippi State's first. Bristow comes out of the pack. Quickly up, beautiful pass inside, count it.
That's what you want to see out of Jalen Bristow. We know she can grab a rebound, advance it up the floor, put pressure on the defense. That is a much needed transition bucket.
Bristow with 3 assists in the ball game. She leads Tech in that category. That should be an offensive foul, and it will be. And that should be number 3 on Richardson.
And this is exactly why we wanted to highlight Hema Nunez. As we take a look, Bristow demands so much respect with her ability to advance the ball. That is a high percentage shot, as we know. Those points have been hard to come by. Again, credit Mississippi State. But back to Hema Nunez. That's why we talked about her in the open. We could have talked about a lot of players. But Hema Nunez coming down with a big steal a couple of possessions ago, coming down, taking a big charge. Her ability not just to control the pace and be a primary playmaker for Texas Tech, but to be so smart and heady and disruptive on momentum plays like that.
Oh, Richardson did pick up her 3rd personal foul. Coach Purcell is going to stay with her. Here's Collins, goes baseline, the reverse, got it. Working on Richardson, knowing she has 3.
I want to see more of that from Snetta Collins, being aggressive off the dribble. She's got to continue to attack the basket. There's nobody, I say it every game, there's nobody in this gym that can guard Snetta Collins off the dribble.
That's going to be an offensive foul on Prater. And that'll be her 4th personal foul. First tie of the ball game.
We did not see this level of intensity from a defensive standpoint in that first quarter, right? And so I think the question we had headed into this game was, okay, well, they're going to be challenged in a new way we haven't seen. Can they answer the bell? I think Krista Gerlich's got to be happy so far, these last 14, 13 minutes between the second quarter and now, about how Tech has been just defensively, as Bristow just not able to get it high enough off the glass.
Anyway, Dozie pulls it away for rebound number 8. They double, back on top, Richardson. The deep 3, no. High bounce. Danae Fritz, Bristow both go for it.
4 white jerseys in the paint, skying for that ball. The rebound battle continues.
Scoring drought closing in on 3 minutes for Mississippi State, and in that span, they've turned it over 3 times. Bristow, no place to go. That's going to be a travel. We'll go the other way with it.
Well, when you have one of your teammates is attacking the paint and you get stuck in no man's land right there underneath the basket, great defense by Mississippi State, you have to have more movement on the wing. Everybody's kind of standing there watching that last possession. You've got to get yourself open to passing lanes, so Bristol's got somewhere to go.
They're going to call the jump ball possession or Texas Tech.
That is the 11th turnover for Mississippi State.
I'll tell you this. They can press, and one of the things we've talked about in the previous games for the Lady Raiders, last year and the last couple of years, really, Krista Gerlich has had to kind of piecemeal her defense together. This year, game 1, she said, I've got players that can play my style of defense, and we've got a timeout. 6:04 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Texas Tech looking to get their first lead of the ball game. We'll be back to Lubbock after this. Kudos to Joey McGuire and the Texas Tech Red Raiders. What a year they are having. And, of course, J-Rod for Heisman. Fear the stash. I love it. My son-in-law grew a stash because he liked the way his stash looked for Texas Tech.
Listen, my dad's had a stash since the day I was born, so okay, yeah. I love a good stash.
Well, here's the obviously we talked about the mantra of Mississippi State and Coach Purcell: determination, resilience, impact, virtuousness, and excellence. Resilience, that's the one that's probably sticking out right now, because Mississippi State, since the first quarter, just 2 of 18 shooting. Tech's outscored them since that time, 19-4, but the Bulldogs still in the game.
Well, I think we're going to learn a lot, and Sam Purcell's going to learn a lot about his squad here these next few minutes. That's going to be an offensive foul. We've seen a number of those tonight. Again, just valuing those types of possessions. But Sam Purcell's learning about this squad. This is a new group. He wants to give them a lot of grace in terms of understanding what he wants and their system. They have not faced a challenge, neither of these teams, to this magnitude so far this season. We've seen Texas Tech respond.
And that's going to be an offensive foul.
How is Mississippi State going to respond, especially on the road in an environment where the crowd is getting into it with Texas Tech? This is adversity. This is what prepares you for March.
Bane is called for the foul. And again, Texas Tech with another opportunity to take their first lead of the game. And there's going to be a timeout. 5:48 left to play in the third. We are knotted up at 35. Tied up at 35. The reason they are reviewing the last foul, which was called on Awafane, to maybe upgrade it to a flagrant foul, which is now an intentional foul, was an intentional foul in college basketball. We'll give you the results on that. But, you know, we were just talking about a couple of things, and one of them was Snuda Collins. No rebounds in that first quarter, 6 in the second, and she was the difference maker energy-wise.
Well, she gave me the impression like this is a player who's like, I've been in this game before. I've been in the SEC before. I think you could say the same about Jada Malone, coming from the SEC and having that type of experience. But Snetta Collins, especially that first quarter when Tech dug themselves a hole, and it felt like, okay, who's going to be the composed one here? Snetta Collins came in and really was aggressive off the dribble. She leads them in scoring, just under 17 points per game. She's been incredibly efficient so far this year. The rebounding numbers, to me, that's what stood out tonight. There has been a concerted effort. She's gone to an entirely new gear.
Right.
A gear. When that shot goes up, you can tell she's taken that challenge very seriously.
You know, she's one of 2 players off the bench to average 16 points, 4 rebounds, and shoot 50%. We're going to get the result of the review. Common foul, Texas Tech's ball, baseline, 20 seconds on the shot clock. It didn't look like a flagrant from where we were, but I think it's great that they did review it. But it'll be Tech's basketball again. 5:48 left to play here in the third. Both teams undefeated. Both teams understand what this game means. You want to say it's a barometer game, but it's more than that, I think, for both of these teams.
I was just telling you during that last break, it feels like all of the momentum right now is with Texas Tech. You got the crowd getting into it, that they're going to need them to stay into that game, but they dug themselves such a hole in that first quarter. So let's take another look at this foul. Just a little bump right there.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, that's a great take by Danae Fritz.
Yeah.
It's a great read. That's a veteran play. But, I mean, Texas Tech went down by 15 in the first quarter. Took all of their might that second quarter. Outscored Mississippi State 15-2. Right now, they're on a 19-4 run over the last 14 minutes of this game.
After review, the call on the floor is
not
confirmed.
exactly a big hit on
common
her,
foul
but it
on
was
Mississippi
called.
State. Texas Tech will get the ball on the baseline.
By the way, I think that Coach Purcell, he's got kind of an advantage because his father-in-law is one of the great coaches in the history of women's college basketball. Coached at Auburn, a Hall of Fame member, Joe Champy. And I was kidding him. I said, does he ever talk to you? He goes, oh, yeah. Because Joe is like defensive guru.
Every game, I'm sure.
I mean, you talk about coaches that are defensive gurus. Joe was a defensive guru. And I'm sure he offers, as my father-in-law used to, who was an ex-sportscaster, suggestions, we'll call it. They were always suggestions from my father-in-law.
Listen, you never know.
Yeah, well,
different perspective, different lenses. We're all seeing different stuff. So I'm sure that is a huge benefit and a huge asset to his coaching career.
9 times out of 10, my father-in-law was right. Here's Collins up front. She can take anybody off the dribble. Nice job defensively, though, by Dozy. Francis has to give it up. Benet off the glass, got it. The junior out of Senegal via Penola College.
That is a much-needed bucket from the Bulldogs. That was about a 5.5-minute scoring drought.
And in that process, they've turned it over the last 5 minutes and 30 seconds. 5 times to be exact. Here's Bristow. Shot clock inside of 10. Game clock closing in on 5 to play in the third. Nunez to Collins. Collins with 3. Collins with 2. Bristow launches. Got it at the buzzer.
That is a dagger. If you're Mississippi State, I'm thinking to myself, man, they are playing phenomenal defense, but that is even better composure from Texas Tech to not get rattled right down at the final seconds to get that high percentage shot. That is just the second 3 ball to go down tonight.
First lead of the game, and then it goes right back to Mississippi State.
Again, Mississippi State feeling like they had the advantage at getting downhill. Don't be surprised. They're going to continue to attack the paint, attack the rim off the dribble.
And Collins working hard on the freshman, Francis. Nice job defensively by Madison Francis. Another one with a big wingspan, 6'5", and the pull-up.
That is tough. That is.
Francis has 8 in the ball game. Last 3 games, she's averaged almost 13 a contest. Now Mississippi State has hit their last 3. Inside of 4 to play here in the third. Bristow left wide open. This time the 3 won't go. Collins fights for it. Chris comes up with it. Collins will commit the infraction as Malone will check back into the lineup for Tech. Collins is going to go out.
It's really interesting. Both of these teams came into this game shooting so well from the three-point line. Both teams right around 40-41%. That is, right now Mississippi State shooting 27%, 3 of 11, and Texas Tech 2 of 13 for 15%.
Mississippi State makes about 6 threes a ball game. Texas Tech coming into this game, they average almost 10, 9.6.
Just a little bit of a miscommunication there between Lampley. Gosh, just an unforced turnover, and great heady job there by Danae Fritz to just allow the ball to roll out of bounds, blocking anybody to go in and getting it.
13 turnovers for Mississippi State. Malone way out on the wing. Bristow again for 3. Doesn't get the bounce. Wade Dozie the rebound.
It's been very clean, really clean looks that Tech is getting from the three-point line.
Yeah.
They just can't get them to go down.
And then banging inside. Favor Wade Dozie.
Yeah, right now Texas Tech not doing a great job of building that shell in the half court. Mississippi State just inserting their will at the rim.
Texas Tech just 3 of 11 here in the third. Malone has it rejected by Wade Dozie. Malone this time inside with the left hand, can't get it. Bristow got it back. Pump fake, hangs in the air, draws contact, and the foul.
Well, incredible relentlessness by the Texas Tech on that possession, especially Jada Malone. I was talking to some of the Texas Tech coaching staff, and they said one of the things we preached to our team this year, or before this game, was you cannot get deflated when you get your shot blocked.
Right.
And I love that Malone is down here battling right now, just trying to come up with extra possessions. Bristow able to get hers, but a shot block, the block shots were coming. And if you just stay relentless and you don't hang your head and allow those to turn into momentum for your opponent, you have to be resilient in that, and that possession there really speaks to that.
Richardson comes back into the ball game. Wade Dozie goes out. Richardson playing with 3 personal fouls. Picked up her third about 4 minutes ago, and here is Bristow. 13 points in the ball game for Jalen Bristow. Career high already this season in blocks. Came into the game with 15.
It's like all of a sudden there's a lid on the rim for Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Just one of their last 8.
And Mississippi State, they're on a 6-0 run. They've hit their last 4 shots. Collins will come back in. Going to give Bristow a little bit of a breather. Also coming back in, McFall comes back in for Mississippi State. Crisp goes out. Here's the pressure. Mississippi State said, we want to make Texas Tech pay for that pressure. We know they'll take chances. How about that? Nunez with the steal. That is her third of the ball game.
She is the definition of pesky defensively.
Big time. Tech cannot take advantage of it, though. Two and a half to play in the third. Way up top is Richardson. Francis, nice spin move taken away. Another steal by Texas Tech. Their 6th of the ball game.
Well, and Texas Tech spent a lot of time these last few days really understanding personnel. I mean, we sat here for what, how long, waiting for them to come out of the film room, and a lot of it, we've seen it a few times, when that spin dribble backwards, those are scouting report tendency plays that we've seen Hema Nunez capitalize on, and now Bailey Maupin in that last possession. Just understanding what's going to happen when a certain player is attacking the rim and forcing a turnover.
Malone had position, the pass a little bit strong, and a whistle. They're going to call it a jump ball. And possession arrow goes to Mississippi State, who still has hit their last 4 shots. Texas Tech, no field goals the last 3 minutes. It's kind of a quick tie-up.
That's a great job by McCall, just making a play on the basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, perfectly placed pass.
King will come back into the lineup. Going a little bit smaller as Lampley goes out. King stands 5'10", Lampley at 6'1". Tech, again, the pressure. The lead is 4. It was 15 at the end of the first quarter of play for Mississippi State. Nunez just being a pest out front on McFall. The three. Collins the rebound. You got to get out on finesse. 6 of her 11 shots were threes. Inside, Maupin for the 2. That stops a 3.5-minute scoring drought for the Lady Raiders.
Just the 6th fast break point for Texas Tech. Remember, their goal headed into this game was to have 20.
Sydney Love picks up the foul. Again, Bailey Maupin. She's got 7 in the ball game. Comes in averaging over 16. Brianna Crisp will come back in. Danae Fritz comes in. Maupin goes out. Both coaches playing a little chess game now with their players. Bristow back in. Nunez goes out with 1:31 to play in the third.
You got Nunez with 2 fouls. So far, Texas Tech is sitting pretty decent from the foul category. It's about those fouls where you're turning the possession over. Right now, Mississippi State Prater's got 4, Francis 3, Richardson 3, Dozie 3 as well.
Now a timeout's going to be called. I want you to bring your teddy bears and come out to United Supermarkets Arena on Wednesday, December 3rd as the Lady Raiders take on the Shockers of Wichita State. Tip-off scheduled for 6 o'clock. Now, Texas Tech is partnering with Covenant Children's Hospital and will be donating all of your teddy bears to add some holiday spirit for kids in need. You can catch the action on ESPN+. Rather have you come out to the game. Go to TexasTech.com or by calling Texas Tech ticket office at 806-742-TECH. Once again, that's December 3rd because the Lady Raiders head on the road, and they're going to stay on the road. Next game, of course, is going to be at New Mexico. That'll be on the 23rd, and then the 25th and 27th are up in Frisco, Texas. Take on Old Dominion and North Texas. My buddy Coach Burton, he's going to be ready for them. So we've got 1:31 to play. They're looking at something. I'm not sure what.
The clock did not start for an extended period of time, so they're taking a look at that and just trying to make sure the clock is right.
That happened the other night.
Listen, it's still November. It's happening everywhere in the country.
Yeah, really.
Everybody's still getting used to in-game play.
You got to get those quick fingers. Again, both teams come in undefeated. You look at this Mississippi State team, they are picked 10th in the SEC. Of course, South Carolina won, and Texas with former Mississippi State coach Vic Schaefer at number 2 in the clock. And I didn't see anything there.
It's interesting. I mean, and this is taking a little bit. They're really being intentional about this, getting this timing right now.
I want to also mention that the fact you saw the halftime feature, Katara Chappell, one of the assistant coaches for Texas Tech, she actually played at Mississippi State.
Yeah, had an opportunity to play again or go against her alma mater. Was a player at Mississippi State from 2013 to 2017. Aided the team to a WNIT quarterfinals her freshman year. In the program's first NCAA tournament since 2010, that following season.
Pretty good.
And then advanced to the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. Then as a senior, helped the team to its first ever Final Four. That was that game where Mississippi State upset UConn to advance.
That's right.
After review, the game clock malfunctioned and froze. The game clock will be reset to 1:12.
It's like, do you remember where you were? Yeah, I remember where I was when that shot went down.
I think everybody does. Okay, they've made a decision. They put 1:12 on the game clock, a fresh 30 on the shot clock. It froze, it started, and it froze.
It's like my car in
like
Colorado.
I was going to say, or like a popsicle. You know, same thing. So we do have 72 seconds left to play in the third. We do know that for sure. This is a Mississippi State team that can score points. They scored 107 versus Mississippi Valley State.
Both teams averaging over 80. Don't know if we're going to get there tonight. This has definitely been a defensive chess match.
And Sydney Love's going to pick up the foul. What I like about this Mississippi State team, and you got to credit the coaching staff, they've got a lot of balance. But what stood out watching them in practice yesterday and again today, they've got a lot of heart. And a lot of characters on the team.
Yeah, a lot of characters, a lot of just phenomenal young women just coming up and chatting to us about all sorts. I mean, it's so fun.
You realize Krista Richardson wants her job.
Well, she's coming for it.
She's coming for it, yeah.
She wants to be an announcer and loves the idea of calling games. I said, listen, you are more than capable of doing just that.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see where her career can take her when this is done.
The lead is 2. Tech just 1 of their last 7 shooting. Love out front. Playing without the glasses for the first time, was having headache problems. That's going to be a travel. So her previous game, she did have goggles on, looked a little like Alicia Gray.
It was a
the Atlanta
vibe.
Dream.
That was a vibe. She could pull them off really well, too.
She did. It looked good on her. Now, Mississippi State, though, has not taken advantage of Texas Tech not scoring. They haven't scored in over 3 minutes. Crisp on the drive. That looked like a travel before the foul, but they're going to call the foul.
Crowd not happy. Good composure for Mississippi State. What happened in that last possession, Danae Fritz, some coaches call this kind of no man land, right? You've got to make a decision. Which pass, which angle are you going to try to disrupt? And that pressure defense was kind of caught in between. But Mississippi State doing a very good job of handling that pressure. We watched them in shoot around and in practice. They had all sorts of people trying to pressure them on defense and just trying to replicate what they were going to see out of Texas Tech.
Crisp hit the stripe. She's got 10 in the ball game. Make it 11. That's almost doubling her season average. What was impressive about Crisp, you break down her numbers. The last 3 games, she has 12 assists and just 1 turnover. Tonight, she doesn't have any assists, but she does have 1 turnover. So Tech has done a nice job on her. Now they're looking at the clock again. They put 28 on.
This has been a very difficult third quarter from a game flow standpoint between.
Flow would not be the word used.
Yeah. That's tough on a player too. I mean, I'm paying attention specifically. How are each of these teams handling just that lack of fluidity in the game right now? That's adversity within itself.
Tech prides themselves on a flow of a game. Final 10 seconds. Mopping hands off. Love with 6. Jada Malone working inside the reverse. The follow caught it. Jalen Bristow cleans it up. And that's the way the third quarter will come to an end. Mississippi State plus 14 attempts on the season over their opponent. They're plus 4 today on the drive. Malone's got it. Count it. The basket counts, and we're tied.
Jada Malone has come up with some statement plays. Exactly what this Texas Tech team needed out of her. And you and I was going to say, we talked about her the last couple of games and how she needed to really make that step. Whether it's a comfortability, I mean, you know, you're coming from one program and then you're still adapting. She has become a presence for the Lady Raiders, and especially in a game like this, they're going to need that type of performance when it gets into Big 12 play. It's just a great job of just reading the basketball and just coming up with an opportunity.
Well, the problem with that also is Wade Dozie picked up her 4th. So Wade Dozie has 4, and Prater has 4. And they're going to give the ball still to Mississippi State. But boy, taking Wade Dozie out, and that's something, again, that Texas Tech thought they could get her in foul trouble. Now you have to put a young player in there. Rocio Jimenez didn't even play the last 2 years.
Yeah, you got Prater and Wade Dozie. Those are 2 of your arguably most looked at players. And that's going to be a 10-second violation. Mississippi State was not able to get it over half court in time.
16 turnovers now for the Bulldogs.
When Texas Tech gets in this mode, where it's almost like they have more fun in their press and being disruptive than they do playing offense at times, I'm telling you that you can just feel the energy shift on that side of the ball when they're just really being disruptive and just taking you out of what you want to do.
Great job, Prater fouling Maupin around. She goes with a reverse, counted. Bailey Maupin gives Tech their biggest lead in the game.
Bailey Maupin time, she's got 9 points in this game. That is the veteran leader the toughness factor. She sets the tone for this team. You said to me at the break, all right, it's gut check time. Who's going to have the guts this fourth quarter?
Francis dumps it down inside, shot clock at 14. Maupin picks the pocket.
Great play on the basketball. That was unbelievable play. And being able to get back in transition and make a play and block the shot like that, that's going to be a foul on Malone.
I thought Malone looked like she had pretty good position, but a foul's going to be called. But you got to give Destiny McFall a lot of credit. Good job making that contact.
Well, Bailey Maupin pleading her case. She said, you're going to call it down here. You're not going to call it down there.
And Jimenez is going to go out. Going to go ahead and bring in Richardson. Richardson playing with 3 personal fouls. And at the line, it's going to be Destiny McFall, the redshirt senior out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Played at Temple a year. You know she knows how to share, McFall. She has 8 siblings. She should average a bunch of assists. Averages 2.5.
3 brothers, 5 sisters. She said to me before the game, you know, I love playing in transition. Just the lefty playmaker, like you said, makes everybody around her better. She said, you know what, my team goes as I go. I've got to be very good.
And Bristow draws the contact on Francis. And for Francis, that'll be, I think, her 4th personal foul.
All right, buckle up, everybody. The rate this is going, we're going to be here for a second.
Yeah.
Because, man, it's really just trading free throw line trips at this point. Both teams just trying to ram it down to the other end of the floor and attack the basket. Those free throws are going to be crucial. Mississippi State 12 of 14, shooting 86%. Texas Tech only 9 free throw attempts in this game. They're 6 of 9, shooting 67%.
Well, Jada Malone goes out, and again, Francis, she has 4.
You have Prater with
Check
4.
that. I think they're saying that she only has 3 now.
Prater with 4, Richardson with 4, and Wadozie with 4. So definitely a lot of foul trouble right now with a lot of time left on this clock for Mississippi State.
Yeah, they did give that not to Francis, but to Richardson. Still belongs to the Bulldogs. Again, it's this defense that's got turned up. You have an experienced senior group of Texas Tech. You've got a lot of new players with Mississippi State. How are they going to handle this pressure in this late stage of the game?
But that's what I was talking about at the start of the game, is discipline, right? Being able to play the game without fouling. And you got to stay on the court, right? You've got to keep yourself late in a game, key players. And that's what Krista Gerlich wanted to do. She wanted to get deep into Mississippi State's bench.
Well, Nunez doing a good job. They make him get inside of 10 on the shot clock. She's just poking away at the ball. The loss comes up into the hands of Bristow. 2 minutes gone by here in the 4th. Nunez so crafty on the outside, averaging over 5 assists a ball game. Maupin. They switch on her. Bristow with a pump fake. The stop. Nice job, Francis, with a rejection. That is her first block of the ball game. Gets tied up. That's going to be an offensive foul. That'll be on Francis. Now that is her 4th.
How tough is Bailey Maupin? That's what we talked about, where she can clean things up.
Yeah, the eraser.
The eraser. You got Bristow, who comes down. She's trying to be aggressive. She gets her shot block. We knew there was going to be a lot of block shots in this game, but Bailey Maupin not allowing, it wasn't a turnover, but a stop to turn into an easy basket. Another huge defensive play by the senior.
Nunez working off the pick. Collins rolls. Nunez quickly picked up by Richardson. That was a mismatch. Francis with 4 fouls with the ball. And another turnover. That is the 20th turnover for Mississippi State. Maupin, beautiful pass to Collins. Count it.
15 points off 20 Mississippi State turnovers. They only average 15 per game. You're watching Texas Tech, ever since that second quarter, really assert their will on them defensively. That pressure has been the difference maker so far.
And Bristow called for the foul. Tech has outscored Mississippi State 9-2 here in the 4th. How about this pass, though? I think it's an underhand.
It's like a bowling ball.
It was.
Looks like me in the bowling league. Goodness.
Boy, my
Unbelievable.
goodness.
I'm not in a bowling league, by the way.
You know, I called the PBA a couple years.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, well, wasn't any good. Here's Bristow, pulls away the rebound.
Another missed bunny.
Almost walked with it, Collins. Now Texas Tech has to execute. You don't need any wild shots at this point.
Composure in the half court.
Big time.
Being intentional about your cuts, about the ball movement. Krista Gerlich wants multiple sides of the floor, multiple ball screen actions when they're in this type of situation.
Nunez with 5 to shoot. The 3, no. Rebound pulled away emphatically by Richardson. Richardson with 9 boards in the ball game. Francis with 4 fouls. The scoop. What a shot by the rookie.
How pretty is that?
She goes to double digits.
And the and one opportunity.
You know, Sam was telling me yesterday, she goes, she's a special player and she's an aggressive driver. We see it there.
How about this? Over 2,000 career points in high school and over 1,000 rebounds. As a member of the FIBA U18 AmeriCup in 2018.
But the best story about her, she was being recruited by Sam Purcell. After her visit, she says, you know, I'm going to have to pray about it. She was on another recruiting visit and saw a billboard. It said, call Sam, 1-800.
1-800-CALL SAM, and her and her family just continued to see this billboard.
And they called Sam. Fritz, no, outside. Nunez with the save.
You're getting into the part of the game now where understanding time and score, really being careful with shot selection. You still want to be aggressive. Those are the types of shots I'm not liking out of Texas Tech, or those contested 15 to 17-foot mid-range jumpers. Mississippi State wants them to take those shots.
And Prater draws the contact and the foul. Tech has hit 3 of their, or only one of their last 7, but they're up by 3. Foul was on Bailey Maupin. That is her first personal foul. And here's Chandler Prater out of Kansas City.
4 players in foul trouble for Mississippi State. That is going to be a massive key these final 5.5 minutes of this game.
You know, you go back, we talked at the top of the show about Chandler Prater, who's always been one of my favorites. She's in her 7th year, by the way, but because of injury, she had a torn ACL, then she tore her Achilles, and she had to rehab. And last February is all of a sudden she really started to come on and she took a bigger role with this team. But what she has gone through is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And talking to her last night, I said, did you ever get down? She goes, no. She goes, I got great faith. I knew what I needed to do, and I was just going to do it.
Well, and it's just incredible resilience and an opportunity to play the game that she loves. She feels so thankful and fortunate to still be out here. Started at Kansas, then ended up at Oklahoma State, now at Mississippi State. She's easy to cheer for.
We've got a timeout, 5:32 to play in the ball game, and Texas Tech up by 3. Well, Jalen Bristow has been a big force, as you would expect tonight for the Lady Raiders.
Been so good. I sound like a broken record. So impressive. 18 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Just really elevated to another level this second half in particular, when there has been a flow to the second half.
Yeah.
And we were told during the last break, if we take a look at just Jalen Bristow, 18 points. She's already had 2 career nights.
I know.
Her career high is 22.
Actually, 3.
Three.
She had back-to-back, and then another one.
Just one of the biggest jumps in all of college basketball.
Oh, one of the things they were talking about during the break, they called a foul at the 8:33 mark. They had to go back and review it to see who it was on. It turned out it was actually on Madison Francis, who played
an
the
extra
next
3 minutes. Very unusual.
And had a basket and a rebound.
So she
is fouled out.
Yep, she'll foul out now.
And that's a big loss for them. I mean, she started her first start tonight. That is a huge loss. And for Mississippi State, they have taken only 2 shots here in the fourth quarter. They've made 1. That goes back to the second quarter, where they took 13 shots and only made 1. So the second and the fourth have not been kind to the Bulldogs.
Well, Texas Tech winning the second half, 21-16. We said it's challenging as a player when there's so much stoppage of play.
Yeah.
And you're going to the monitor, you're having to review things, you're really trying to make it. There's been obviously some foul issues with the book.
And I'll tell you what, though, keep an eye on number 40. Francis is impressive.
Tough.
She is going to be a big-time college basketball player.
She already is.
I think she is, too. I mean, I saw her on tape, and I told Sam last night, I said, wow, she can play. Here's Chandler Prater at the free throw line. Prater, tonight, only 3 points. Comes in averaging 13, which would be a career high for her.
And just so everyone knows, I had said before, Richardson had 4 fouls. That was the foul that went to Francis, so Richardson now just with 3.
And that's big. And Richardson picked up that third in the third quarter. Now the lead is down to 1. Mississippi State led by 15 at the end of the first. Biggest lead for Texas Tech has been 5. Collins with 7 to shoot. Jump stop, the turn, got it. Prater had good position, but Collins knocked it down.
I love when Collins is aggressive off the dribble, not just attacking the rim, but when she can elevate in the paint. When she gets 2 feet in the paint, there's nobody who can contest her shot with her elevation.
The 3 in the corner, no. Everybody fights for the rim, ends up in the hands of the little one. Emma Nunez, who almost hit me on one of those little bicycles today, walking in downtown Lubbock. Just for the record.
The little one,
scooter.
that's one of the biggest hearts I've seen out on the way she plays.
Here is Maupin. Malone looking for position. Collins stops, leans, can't get it.
That has been the story of the night here for both teams.
Oh, yeah.
I bet this game is in the 60s. The game would be in the 60s if both of these teams were hitting their shots at the rim.
McFall with a scoop. Beautiful shot by Destiny McFall. They call her the playmaker, and she did. Back to a 1-point Tech advantage. Malone communicating with Maupin verbally. Tech worked on that a lot at practice yesterday. Nunez, no place to go, needs a little help. Maupin back door, pump fake, got it. Maupin in double figures with 11.
Great read by Hema Nunez, understanding. Out for that pick and roll action, there was nothing on the backside, but just her pulling it back for a second allowed Bailey Maupin to go back door on being overplayed.
The double clutch, no. Shot won't go down by Richardson. Closing it on 3 to play in the ball game. Collins, baseline, hasn't got it. Collins with 14.
Literally give it to her every time. Prater's got 4. She can be aggressive off the dribble and attack the rim every single time.
5-point advantage. The three out of the way. No. Malone fights for it. Rebound pulled away by Prater, and Bailey Maupin.
Oh, she's
got
taken a
popped
shot
in the head.
She's taken a shot to the face the last 2 possessions.
Bristow wants to come back in. Wade Dozie wants to come back in. They're going to call a foul on Texas Tech, and it'll be on Jada Malone. Only her second as we look at it again. It's kind of a little slap in the face there. At the line, it's going to be Chandler Prater.
I got to give credit to Jada Malone. I mean, the first few games of the season,
really,
she struggled to stay on the court because she was just getting in foul trouble. And in a key game like this, has found ways to give impactful minutes, 20 minutes. Only 2 fouls. They didn't give her that foul.
You gotta credit the coaching staff for coaching her up after that second or third game. Here's Chandler Prater. What a special young lady. She hosts a youth basketball camp in Kansas City. She understands this game is bigger than just playing basketball, that she can give back, and she does. It's been a pleasure watching her ever since her freshman year in the Big 12. Lead is down to 3 with 2:41 to play. Again, Francis has fouled out for Mississippi State. Timeout situation. Tech has 3. Mississippi State has 2. Tech no fouls to give. Mississippi State has a foul to give. Bristow in and out. Fritz fights for it, tied up, possession arrow, Mississippi State with 2:23 left.
And it's
I don't like that 3.
I'm not.
I'm old school. I don't like that 3.
I mean, this is a team that shot so well this season. They have been so efficient from the 3-point line. That has not been the story tonight. I mean, you're at home. You've got the crowd around you. It's your rims. I don't really hate that shot, especially coming out of Bristow, who's playing with so much confidence right now. And she's shooting 41% on the season. But tonight, that is just, it's actually impressive that Texas Tech has a 3-point lead right now. The way this game has been played without being able to depend on the 3 ball, that has become such a staple of what they do offensively.
Well, Jada Malone goes out. Crisp out front. Prater almost walked with it, put it on her hip. Leans in, can't get it. Rebound pulled away. Tech comes out of it with Nunez. Maupin is trailing. Bristow.
Yeah.
That's going to be a travel.
That's the right call.
Yeah, that was.
That's the right call.
That's going to be called 99 out of 100
Well, and
times.
I think that was such a smart decision by Hema Nunez. She didn't have anything. She's surveying the court on her way down, didn't have anything, decided to just set up and operate. And again, just a little bit too forced on that possession. Understand time and score. Work the possession, work the clock, and get a high percentage shot. Don't turn it over.
Nunez with the steal. Prater to beat. Doesn't get it. Maupin does.
Bailey Maupin, I talked to her before the game. I looked at her, I said, how many rebounds are you getting tonight, Bailey? And she didn't even hesitate. Within 2 seconds, said 10. She's up to 8.
And a whistle and a foul with 1:25 to play. We look at the last play.
I actually thought that was pretty bold of Maupin to say. I said 10 rebounds. Goodness, she only averages just like 3.6. She said, I'm getting 10. I've been really quietly keeping an eye on that. She's up to 8, as I said.
Well, she's 2 blocks from a career high coming into the game. And here is Prater again at the free throw line. 20 free throw attempts for Mississippi State, 11 for Texas Tech.
Well, and most coaches would tell you that, you know, a big key to winning road games or really winning any game is to make more free throws than the other team attempts.
Exactly.
That has worked in favor for Mississippi State tonight.
Again, Francis is fouled out. Prater and Wade Dozie with 4 for Mississippi State. Nobody in any kind of foul trouble for Texas Tech. 70 seconds left in regulation. Nunez. Maupin, 2 dribbles, backs it out with 8 to shoot. Collins will launch. Collins buries the 3.
She wanted that one. Her feet were ready. She was calling for it.
The 3, no. Rebound, and it gets the bounce. And a timeout's going to be called by the Bulldogs. That was needed. They were on a scoring drought, but this was a big shot by Sanuda Collins.
Sanuda Collins, just her first made 3 of the game. I want to be very clear. She's been aggressive off the dribble. We've seen her elevate from the mid-range. But Collins, coming out of Ole Miss, 5th in Ole Miss history with 175 career-made threes, 4th all-time in 3-point attempts. She led the team at Ole Miss in 3-point every year.
Well, let's talk game situation here because Mississippi State now has only 1 timeout left. Texas Tech still has 3. It'll be Tech's basketball with 47.2. I always like to put my analysts on the spot just because it's fun. Okay, the one thing you got to do is you got to get the ball inbounds.
Correct.
That's the first thing you have to do.
For Texas Tech, you have to be composed. I want the ball in Hema Nunez and Bailey Maupin's hands, okay? Get the ball inbounds. Make sure you're executing in the full court. Mississippi State has to get up in pressure and try and be disruptive on this inbounds. Be prepared for traps. Handle this pressure. Texas Tech, only 12 turnovers on this game.
Now, one of the things they're not doing, Wade Dozie is not guarding the inbounds pass. Collins actually beat everybody down the court, and that's going to be an intentional foul. They immediately called that. Bailey's talking to Tiffany Burton-Nelson, and it was already called an intentional foul.
And Sam Purcell trying to plead his case. That's a play on the basketball, but just the wrap-up.
No.
The wrap-up.
That's a wrap-up.
There's not even going to be a discussion.
No, won't be a discussion on
this.
that.
And Bailey Maupin is in control right now. 2 critical free throws.
Bailey Maupin coming in was 24 of 29 from the line. This is her first free throw attempts. And she's been solid her entire career at Texas Tech from the stripe. She is an 83% career free throw shooter. And we'll have another.
Mississippi State's got to go quickly here. Very, very quickly. I'm looking to get it in as quickly as possible and attack the rim as quickly as possible. If you're Texas Tech.
And it's going to be Tech's ball.
No, that's right. It is Tech's ball.
Yeah,
so,
it'll be Tech's ball.
So understanding that, yeah, the foul is going to have to come here.
Quickly.
Very quickly. So same thing as before. You got to get the ball inbounds.
But you can't do the intentional. Where you get the same situation.
Teaching points in those types of situations. I still don't think Sam Purcell's happy with that call. It has been.
Maupin gets it in to Nunez, and that'll be a touch foul with 40.9 to play.
So an opportunity to extend this to a 3-possession game. Knock down your free throws. Mississippi State, I mean, with 1 timeout left, I'm not wasting that timeout right now. I'm getting it into Prater, advancing the ball as quickly as possible and attacking the rim. And it's about pressure and forcing turnovers now to just try to find your way, give yourself a chance to get back in this game.
We were talking at the top of the show as Nunez extends the lead to 7. That is the biggest of the game for Texas Tech. Who would throw the first punch and who would throw the last punch in this game? And Texas Tech in this 4th quarter, they've outscored Mississippi State by 9.
They gotta go. They gotta go quickly to the rim.
Crisp launches, no. Maupin's got it. Final 30 seconds. And Bailey will go back to the line.
What a great job there by Texas Tech of defending that last possession without fouling. And you can feel it in here right now, this crowd.
Oh, yeah.
This crowd came alive in this second half, and Krista Gerlich said it in her press conference the other day. She was like, we need you to come out. This game is incredibly important. We need your energy, especially in this game, because there were those lulls, right? There were some moments where there wasn't a lot of momentum really for any team because it was so choppy. This team has really helped Texas Tech with that little bit of energy here this second half. I think they fed off it tremendously.
And the lead is 10. And the final timeout's going to be called by Mississippi State. Texas Tech on a 6-0 run. Bailey Maupin tonight, 17 points, 9 rebounds. Still has a chance to get to 10. 3 assists, throwing a couple of steals for good measure.
She's the difference maker in this game. When there needed to be a leader, a toughness leader on the court, it was Bailey Maupin. She's gotten it done with her ability to create high percentage shots, with her ability to rebound the basketball. I cannot believe she told me she was going to get 10 rebounds, and she was right there. But not even that. She's made so many smart plays defensively. Her ability to, there are things that don't even show up in the stat sheet sometimes.
Exactly.
She's almost played perfectly the second half in terms of where she's needed to be. That she's slid over and taken big charges on the defensive end of the floor. Those are momentum plays that you could feel really took the sails, the wind out of Mississippi State's sails. And she's just made really smart decisions. That's what you want out of your senior. I think Bailey Maupin, we talk about Bristow taking a jump. I think Bailey Maupin has taken a jump from last year to this year. She is hands down one of the toughest college basketball players in all of the country, and she is showing why right now tonight.
Well, we talked to both coaches and Krista Gerlich. I said to Krista, this is probably the biggest non-conference game since you've been at Texas Tech here in Lubbock, and she agreed. Now the question is there a chance that maybe they get a couple of votes in the polls? To quote Dumb and Dumber, so you say I have a chance. 25.5, Tech will have the basketball. Texas Tech will keep their record perfect, 6-0, as they head on the road.
Well, I'm looking at the AP Top 25 poll. You had Duke, who dropped out after losing to Baylor and TCU. Minnesota was receiving votes. They took a loss to Kansas last night. Ohio State, Stanford, South Dakota, Nebraska, Richmond, Princeton, and Fairfield. I do think for a lot of those college basketball fans all over the country who understand the implications, understand that this game, those bubble teams, we watched the bracketology. ESPN bracketology that came out just a few days ago, and a lot of the players talked about that. They said the last 4 in, you had both Texas Tech and Mississippi State in that group. Listen, I know it's November. It's way too early to be talking about bracketology, but we will be talking about this game come March.
Now McFall with the 3, and they're just going to play this out. We'll let the crowd tell you the final score. Texas Tech with the win after trailing by 15 at the end of the first quarter.